but it's tons of fun.
Say psych right now. Oh, Jay, you haven't heard the news, man. Welcome. Dude, Jay, you're in every one of our live streams. We appreciate it.
I know, I love it. All right, let
So
me do
as we
this.
get
Let
started
me
here,
chat.
if anybody
Stay
can
safe right
confirm that
now.
you can hear both of us.
Yeah, just double check. We're both good.
I'm seeing your name light up in the stream deck here, but if we
Yeah,
can get
so hopefully
some
that's good.
third-party confirmation here, that would be
Yeah, we
wonderful.
need Jay. We need Jay to let us know.
All right. Let's see if people join in. Ooh, we're up to 5. What's up, everyone?
Let's go. See 8 now.
So as usual, if somebody both good, let's go. Thanks, Jay.
Both good. Leave it to Jay.
So we're just gonna wait a little bit, so trickle on in for more people to join here.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys might have seen on Instagram or in the news the new 2022 STI has been canceled. Um, this is yeah, we're really disappointed. I'm sure the majority of everyone who owns a Subaru or car enthusiasts are very disappointed. Um, Start
The
dropping
only
in your what you guys think in the chat. If you guys are just joining, thank you so much. What do you guys think about the news? We're obviously gonna, as more and more people join here in a couple of minutes, we're gonna start diving in. My mic's low, like not loud enough.
gotta talk louder. All right.
How about that? Is that better? Let me see if I can do this. Volume, sounds. These are the things that we need feedback on.
This okay.
Oh, it's picking up my microphone. Like my webcam microphone? No, that can't be it.
Maybe.
Levels. How's that? Is that better?
That's a little loud for me.
Oh, okay. I'll here. Travis said he read this yesterday. It's quite sad. It is. It's very sad. Um, got my 2018 Wrx 2 years ago. Was waiting for the new STI. Yeah, man. Well, I get. Do you want to just dive into it, Kyle?
Well, before we do that, first, everyone in chat, please say happy birthday to Kevin. First of all, it's Kevin's birthday yesterday, so can we get some happy birthdays in the chat for Kevin? So first we got to do that,
Thanks,
and then
everyone.
then we could get depressed.
Yes.
We'll start off with a little bit of good news.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Well, yeah. So I turned 27 yesterday. So there's plenty of time left on the earth, but
Yeah, quarter way through, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm aiming for 114.
Yeah,
That's
that'd be a good number.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully
That'd be a good
medicine's
number.
that good by then. But thanks, guys.
All right, so
Yeah, go
first,
for it.
give me your initial reactions. You know, you're on the internet. It's your birthday, first of all, which is just like the worst news ever to get on your birthday. What are your like initial thoughts of reading it?
So disappointment is like top of the list, right? At the same time, like that was the first reaction, just sheer disappointment. For anybody
Hmm.
that's in the Subaru community and also the car community, you guys know the STI name brand has been, you know, pretty much center focus in motorsports for a very long time. And in rallycross, they did the Nürburgring, they do the hill climb, they do Auto X, or the is it autocross? Is that what they call it? Like the
Yeah,
Nitro
it's like
Rally
grid.
Circus
Yeah, it's like grid
with the
as
dirt
well.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, all that.
Um, and it's massive. Um, and it's just so disappointing and sad that we never get to see what could have been with that, the FA24 STI. I'm sure there's going to be FA24 swaps into the previous STI generation. On my car, I have the plans for going for that FA STI, which is the FA20. But this, the FA24 had so much potential. Um, so it's very disappointing. My second level reaction, my second was, I'm not surprised by this.
Okay.
There was a lot of information that we had coming into this announcement. We all know which direction you know you which direction the car industry is going. It's going towards EV. Um, we also know Subaru has had supply chain issues. They delayed the release of the original WRX. I'm sure if they had had the WRX STI released earlier, I'm sure this would have been a different decision. But because of COVID and supply chain, I feel like they just weren't able to get it done in time for what they think the market demands and what they think emissions and things like that demand. So um, yeah, I'm just very disappointed. One thing I mentioned to you on the phone the other day was, if you look at this picture we have up on the screen right here, this is the WRX. This is not an STI. This is the 2022 WRX that they had at the whatever trade
Toyota
show
was it the
recently.
yeah, it must be either Chicago or maybe it was the
Tokyo Auto Salon or something
Tokyo
like
or
that.
something.
That is a WRX that has STI badging because it has the lip kit and they added like one or two extra bracing, STI branded wheels. And when I was looking at that, I thought they wouldn't be showing that if they had a legitimate STI coming out later on.
That's a good
So I had
that's a
that
good
thought
pickup.
a while back, but 2020 hindsight, I guess. But
Yeah.
so what are your reactions? What did you
My
think
initial
about it?
reaction, because I was downstairs watching TV with my fiance Vanessa, and my cousin Joe actually sent me it on Instagram, and I went, "That's fake, fake news. Don't worry about it." And then like 30 minutes goes by, and I'm like, let me Google it. And I like Googled it, and it was like all these ads, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I looked at her. I go, "Tomorrow we're going to Subaru of Brantford, and we're buying an STI." She's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because in 3 weeks I'll be able to flip it and make double my money." It's I was so shocked. I was
Yeah,
shocked because they already said it was coming. It'd be one thing if we assumed it was coming. They said WRX first, STI later. So it's like they said it was coming.
yeah,
The WRX got so much hate, and they obviously know. I would love to know what their sales numbers are like for the pre-sale. Like for people ordering them. Maybe their numbers were so bad they said, and their version of the STI was the exact same thing with Brembos, a wing, tuned better, maybe like forged internals, like small stuff, nothing crazy.
yeah.
And maybe they were like, well, they're not going to like this. And it would cost us so much money now to scrap this and redo it that we can't afford to do it. So they just
Yeah.
said, let's not make it at all.
So
Let's just focus on the electric stuff.
based on that, do you think the 2023 WRX will have an STI package that comes with Brembos, that
Yes.
comes with maybe an upgraded transmission? Maybe it
I
comes with
think
Recaros.
So I think it's going to be more like the BRZ that got the STI. It'll have the badging of the STI. It'll have probably badging of both, maybe. Maybe it has like the WRX STI or just the STI. I think it'll do Brembos, a wing, probably better seats, maybe STI badged, maybe the same seats, but they're just STI badged. Um,
I mean,
Maybe
the
they do like,
BRZ already has OEM STI parts.
yeah, so maybe they
So
do like a better steering wheel, like Alcantara wrap steering wheel. Maybe it's like, I think it's going to be small. I think it'll be, I think if there's any engine upgrades, it'll just be like the S like 209 or 207 forged internals, same transmission but like forged internals, and maybe it gets 10 horsepower to or
yeah,
no horsepower difference at all, just forged internals, same thing.
if they do,
Or it's just a
yeah,
styling package. They use it more as like, they treat the STI as like a sport package now,
yeah. I mean, so
which is
think so
sad, but
thinking back, right, and Subaru's past, the WRX in the past was not a standalone model. It was an upgrade
yeah.
off of the Impreza. And then the STI was another upgrade off of
Hmm.
the WRX. So maybe maybe in the next couple of years we might see something like that where it's like you get the
Yeah.
STI upgrade or the package on the WRX. I mean, this is just us, thinking about the
Yeah, just
future,
just
but
brainstorming. But it's
um,
also weird because when they split up the WRX and the STI to be, now the WRX is its own model and now the STI is the super upgrade of the WRX. They only did that in 2015. So they did it for 7 years. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that then? That's not like a worth like that wasn't worth it to split up, the WRX from the Impreza.
yeah,
It's just, it's there could be so many reasons why. You know, they could have looked at, the sales and said the sales aren't good and our car looks exactly the same. You know, think about it. If the STI was just what we said was going to be the STI package, if that's all it was Brembo's seats, a wing, and maybe forged internals on the same FA24, people would have been like, "And you want $10,000 extra for this?" And it looked the same. Those things were still not painted on the side. The back was still as horrible as it was. People probably, you know what I mean? The sales wouldn't
yeah,
have been that good either.
yeah. So I'm gonna throw up on the screen here this other thing that we have. So this is something my buddy forwarded to me that got leaked on Reddit. So this is a letter to the individual dealerships, Subaru dealerships. This is an internal letter that we somehow got our hands on from the president and CEO of Subaru of America, which is Thomas Dole. Um, so I'm just going to read it out for you guys. Um, Dear retailer, as the automotive marketplace continues to move towards electrification, Subaru is focused on how our future sports and performance cars should evolve to meet the needs of the changing marketplace and the regulations and requirements for greenhouse gas emissions, zero emissions vehicles, and corporate average fuel economy. As part of that effort, Subaru Corporation is exploring opportunities for the next generation Subaru WRX STI, including electrification. In the meantime, a next generation internal combustion engine WRX TI will not be produced based upon the new WRX platform. We still have a strong presence with the all-new Subaru WRX and just launched Subaru BRZ. The STI brand represents the zenith of Subaru's performance vehicles, exemplifying Subaru's unique DNA and rally heritage. As we look to the future, we also look forward to incorporating the essence of STI into our next generation of vehicles. So, what can we get out of this? One,
So,
the STI, the new STI is not going to be the same platform as the WRX. It's either going to be hybrid or a full electric, right?
yep.
Or what some people are saying, they're just scrapping the WRX design and they might be redesigning the entire STI.
I don't think so, only because of that last line. It says, "We're looking forward to incorporating the STI onto our next generation of vehicles." So that means not the WRX we have now, which means that generation, every generation has lasted
Mm-hmm.
5 years minimum, 5, 7 years. So now that means we're 5 to 7 years off from an STI. Then that means there are going to be no, like, just it's crazy. Now the only thing is like the cafe, the corporate average fuel economy. Like super vehicles seem to be pretty decent for economy, so I don't think that they would have an issue making an STI, even if it was crazy. I mean, Dodge gets away with it, and they have the Hellcat, the Red Eye. They're able to put the Hellcat engine into basically every vehicle except for their minivan,
Hmm.
which I think they are making the minivan with the Hellcat. So it's like they're able to get around it. So with the Impreza, the Crosstrek, the Forester, the Ascent, they're all four-cylinder turbo engines, or just four cylinders. So they're all pretty good. So they have to be meeting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I mean, maybe they know. Maybe there's a rule we don't know yet that they're going to be cracking down more, and maybe they're like, hey, why waste our money building this thing when the
Yeah.
rule that's supposed to come out in a year or two is going to make it where we can't? It could be.
The other thing that we could be looking at here is um, if they're specifically looking at the performance aspect of EVs. I mean, there's no denying that electric vehicles have crazy torque. There's a bunch of rally
Oh
cars
yeah.
being produced by Audi, by a bunch of other people that you know. There's that Tesla P100D that's fully gutted and it's beating Hellcats and Red Eyes and all of those
Oh yeah.
on the drag strip. Um, so
Like
it's such a
I think it's
weird
yeah. I
situation
was gonna say like
because
I feel
it's somewhat exciting in a certain sense because it would be amazing to see what they come up with. If they come up with something like the Audi e-tron, like the sedan, that's like 500, 400 horsepower in an electric vehicle. If it's on par with the performance, like Tesla performance models, or one of those, like an Audi or something like that, it could be a fun car. Is it a direct replacement for what the enthusiasts want in an STI? Absolutely not. But um,
yeah. See, I feel like I like the electric cars. I think that they're obviously they are the future. Whether we like it or not, there's nothing we can do about it. That's just the way that it's going. I mean, I think Audi, they said by 2030 or 2035, all their vehicles are going to be electric.
yeah,
So we know it's coming. But as someone that like both of us, we like modifying cars. There's besides like looks wise, and it's so technologically advanced now. These cars, it's like, can you really pull the headlight off of a Tesla? Do you really want to swap out the headlight and tail light? Like, do you want to lower it? You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like the batteries weigh so much. It's like there's no modification. Like the STI, the whole fun is to mod it out. Like I don't care if it has 2,000 horsepower and 3,000 torque. There's nothing we could do to it. You know what I mean? Even
yeah.
wheels and tires,
You could do
there's gonna have to be
suspension and
special
wheels and
ones.
tires and maybe a
Yeah,
lift
and
kit. Yeah,
it's like the suspension's probably not gonna. It's gonna take so long for them to get good at it because the weight difference is gonna be so weird with an electric vehicle with all the batteries. So
yeah.
it's
Let's,
it's depressing because I feel like with that engine they had such a good opportunity. Even though the outside looked horrendous,
mm,
they had such a good opportunity to do some things, fix it, make it nice,
yeah,
and it would have sold like crazy. I mean, how many people were? So many people I know. I had a supervisor at my work who he has a STI and or he had a WRX and he was like, I'm waiting for the new one. As soon as that new STI comes out, I'm going to the dealership buying it. And I texted him this morning. I said, so what are you going to do? He
yeah,
goes, I have no idea. Like he was waiting, it's like,
yeah,
it's just depressing. Yeah, you know what? Steel Rain just rest in peace, Subaru. That
yeah.
is, I think about the Mitsubishi thing. They got rid of the Lancer and the Evo, and now they make what, one car? I think they make an SUV. I don't even know. Like, how many? When's the last time you saw a Mitsubishi on the road that wasn't like older?
Yeah.
It's like I don't think Subaru's gonna die. I mean, their Foresters and their Legacies do way too well. Especially like around here, like between those two, the Crosstrek, they're all over the place.
And they have that
Um,
Wilderness Edition too. I mean, my buddy
oh
has a
yeah,
Wilderness Edition Outback, and that's an
oh yeah,
amazing
the
car.
Outback.
I would
Yeah,
trust
they're
that thing
crazy.
off road more than I would trust pretty much every truck on the market and Jeeps and anything like that.
Yeah,
Um, So let's get to the comments here. So Badia says, Badia, G Badia, um, do you think, he says, I just moved. Do you think the EPA cracking down on mods and tuning in Cali added to the cancellation? Uh, I don't think so because um, there's a very distinct separation between the aftermarket community and Subaru themselves. Um, Subaru has always been, none like it's very rare to find a dealership that allows you to, you know, do anything to their cars without them removing warranty and things like that. They've always had a pretty strict stance um, on people modifying their cars. At the same time, you know, they can't be dumb and not know that that's what a
Yeah, they
lot of
have to be
people do.
self-aware and know.
So I would say that it's not, those two aren't related, but future EPA emissions regulations for car manufacturers, those,
Mm.
which are two completely separate things, those are related. Um, Jay says
John
electric
makes a good. Oops,
vehicles.
there you go.
Jay says electric vehicles are such a joke. I can't understand hybrids, but I can understand hybrids, but the pollution creating from creating batteries and the electricity itself negates the lack of exhaust. Yes.
Yeah,
So in the U.S. specifically, if the increased demand from the added electric vehicles into, the general population, if that demand isn't met with renewable energy, if it's something cheap like coal or natural gas or things like that, you're right. For an average car in the U.S., the average emissions from the average car, not a diesel, just a normal passenger car, if that person switches to electric in some states right now, they actually increase their carbon footprint. I don't know if you guys know this, but so what I do for work is I do sustainability I manage sustainability for a really large manufacturing company, and we make electric vehicle chargers. Um, and I'm not going to tell you guys what company it is, but it's not Tesla. It's not Tesla. You guys would have heard about that if it was. But essentially, the energy grid needs to be developed in order to
to
cover
even
all.
yeah,
Yeah,
sustain if everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, but John makes a good point. Where did you just say? Hold on. Would you like to see the STI jump to the BRZ? Now, I don't know what Subaru and Toyota's deal is, but if Subaru and Toyota said, "Hey, listen, we made this car. Listen, we're gonna do the TRD version. Whatever we do is us. You could do the STI version. Whatever you do is yours. So if you want to slap a turbo on it,
Dude,
supercharger, make it go
a
crazy.
fully
If we want to
blown
do the same
BRZ
thing,
STI.
maybe they came to that deal and then they thought, well, now maybe they'll just do the STI BRZ and an STI version of the WRX, so they don't have time to make their own STI. That could be an option. And if they did that, I would not be mad of getting rid of the STI. I mean, I like this new BRZ way better. Um, yeah, the only thing I think is going to be interesting with the electric is Subarus are so good in the snow. And one of those things is what happens if you're in a snowstorm and it's so bad, you know, that you're in a giant blizzard, 3 feet of snow. You're on the highway, you're in your Subaru Forester, you can't go anywhere. You got to just park it, get out, walk somewhere, and get a ride home. Okay, now you got to leave your car there. What happens if
Oh, you're saying if
that's
you run out of
no,
of
well,
energy?
no, just saying like a gas one. And then what happens that same situation if it's an electric one? And what happens if you're on the highway? They can't remove snow for 3 days. Your car's dead now, but so is everyone else's. And now you got a highway polluted with dead electric vehicles with no way to charge them. Like it's just I like the idea, but I feel like to me, I don't know, maybe I'm just old fashioned. I don't see a way of there being all electric cars. Like I feel like there's always going to be a need to have some gas vehicles.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I just yeah, an EV mandate. You know what? They're just going to keep adding money to it, and it'll make it so that you'll almost have to money wise.
There's
You know.
just so you guys know, just looking towards the future, there's never, I don't think there's going to be an EV mandate for uh, 10, 15 years. It's just
Yeah, unless you're in
there's no
California.
way the government can flip that onto car manufacturers that quickly. They
Yeah,
might put a bill in place now that says, by this certain date, your company can't sell combustion engine cars anymore. That's possible, but there's no
yeah.
way it would be before 10 to 15.
And I think if anything, they'll just add to the um like to the money. Like I think now it's like I think Connecticut's like $7,000 if you buy a new EV, you get like $7,000 off from the state. They'll just keep adding to that money, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
like yep, shipping, energy, manufacturing, those are the big polluters. Yeah. I mean when the Prius came out, I don't know how accurate it is now, but when the Prius came out, I know that it was like a Prius has to drive for 13 years to equal out the cost of making the Prius between making the batteries, shipping the batteries, the plant to make the car, what it cost, like for all of its carbon footprint, for what it saves based on a normal vehicle. It had to drive for like 13 years or something um, before it equaled out. So I don't know. I mean, that was when the Prius came out, but it's like, yeah, it's. I don't know. It's like, do you see? I don't know why I don't envision this. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't envision a rallycross event. You know, this guy
A
comes up in a
silent
Mini
one, right?
Cooper. Yeah, and then this silent Subaru pulls up, and it goes on and rides all night long and comes back. Like I don't know. I just don't envision it. Like I don't know. Maybe
Um,
I gotta drive a Tesla. Maybe I gotta drive one,
yeah.
and you know what I mean. Especially when
So
the sports car comes out. What is it? The Roadster
yeah,
S or something is coming
it's like
soon.
1.9 seconds 0 to 60 or something like that, sub 2 seconds. Joey asks, "I'd love to know if Kev can elaborate on how Subaru can compete with an e-tron or Tesla Performance." Asking for a friend. Um, so the current, what I was trying to say there was, if Subaru was going for a performance EV for the new STI in the future, because that's what this letter here. That's basically what they're implying is that they're going to be with the new generation of EVs. They're going to be sticking to that rally heritage. I'd have to assume that means that the any full electric STI would not be like a mundane grocery getter. It would be something performance oriented. Now, any kid in a shop could technically buy four powerful electric motors, put them all each, attach them each to a wheel, and put it on a wagon, and you'd have a 500
Yeah,
horsepower red, like the pull along wagon, right? You can go on the internet
yeah,
and buy electric motors. I think it's safe to assume that Subaru's development team has been working on EVs ever since they saw Tesla and some of the other companies doing
yeah.
it.
And they have an EV already now. They just announced it. The
Solara, yeah.
Solara.
It's
So it's like
very
they're.
ugly.
It is very weird. I just find it. I hate that the all electric vehicles they don't have like a front grille.
Yeah.
I get they don't
Well,
need one, so I understand.
there's not
But
much to cool.
it's just weird looking.
there is coolant. There is coolant
Yeah,
in electric
but
vehicles because they have to manage the batteries. But
yeah, but it's not like an engine. Like it's just weird. Like even the Tesla, they all have like little grills. It's different.
yeah. Um, so just to give you guys some context, one of the other thoughts that I had instantly, and I could show you my search history if you want. I started
Oh boy.
googling what's the towing capacity of the current fleet of like electric vehicles. So I started looking up towing capacity of Teslas and things like that. Because the first thought I had was if they make an all electric STI, I'm gonna buy it and tow my WRX to the track with it. Because at
New
that
soy
point,
power
if I
guy.
so what are the benefits of an electric car, right? With gas prices going up, you don't have to worry about that fluctuation. Obviously, the current surge, it's gonna come back down. It always does. And for anyone that claims that the president can directly affect gas prices, you're wrong. That's not how it works. I'm not trying to get political. Anyways, OPEC decides gas prices. Also, there's a war. There's a physical war going on in the area that supplies oil to the rest of the world. Anyways, um, what are the benefits of a electric vehicle? Um, you can charge them at your house overnight when you're not, if you have, when you're not using them, when you're not, if you're just doing daily driving with them. They're super comfortable. They're quiet. They're, pretty powerful and fun to drive. Super low center of gravity. I have been in a Tesla before. I have not driven one, but they are great to drive. The Ford Lightning, that car is going to be amazing. It's going to have amazing off-road capabilities, amazing features that you can power. You can power a house with them. Um, the other good thing about them is that they're instant torque, so they are actually really good for towing. And I was completely serious about the thought of taking my WRX and completely doing a stripped interior, do a bolt-in cage, and completely making that car a track dedicated car. Because once you have an EV, right, you like Kyle said, you can do suspension, you can do wheels and tires, but overall, you know,
Yeah,
there's
that's
not
it.
much you can really do. It's just, and I mean that's kind of nice to think about, right? I know all of us in the chat here, you guys are all into modifying your cars, but um, I mean, it's almost kind of not a relief, but it's nice to have a car that just works. And you never have to really worry about it. There's not much moving parts. Yeah, I mean, servicing them. We all know the issues and the downsides of Teslas specifically. Somebody in the comment earlier talked about how they don't want an external company controlling their car, and that's one of the biggest reasons that I would never buy a Tesla. They've rolled out automatic updates, software updates to change the features on the car. They roll out automatic updates to remove fast charging from some of their older Teslas. Um, you can only go to Tesla dealerships if you want the car serviced and things like that. Those are all the aspects that I hate because I do believe in that once you own something, you should be able to decide what to do with your property. Um, Now with Ford coming out with the all electric Lightning, there are Ford dealerships everywhere. Tesla, there's a
Yeah,
couple in every state, right? I mean, in some areas there's
yeah,
more, but like there's Ford dealerships almost every single town in America,
yeah,
in developed areas, suburban and urban areas. But being able to go to take your truck to any Ford dealership, that would be awesome. And Subaru, it's very similar. So it would be cool to see what it's like. The old STI is absolutely going to be missed. They absolutely missed the mark with the new WRX, and I'm very disappointed in that. But I mean, it's not all bad. If we just kind of forget where the energy is coming from. We forget the open strip mines that produce the lithium for the batteries that go into the electric vehicles, and we forget the destination facilities for where the electric batteries go because they're non-serviceable and they're extremely fire prone. But forget all of
yeah.
that. I mean, it could be cool. You can do all-wheel drive burnouts from a stock car. I mean,
I would have liked there to just been like the ESTI. I would have much rather them kept, made this version of the STI and then say, hey, we're making an electric version of this car, the ESTI or whatever they would have been, and you could have had both. But Matt Chambers said something that I thought about too. Is like I wish that we got more details as to why now, why so soon, especially after saying that this was going to be the last gen of the STI, because we missed out on they missed out on so much money. If they came out with an STI version of this, they could have had. They said, "Hey, we're doing the STI for a couple years, and then that's it, and then we're going to the electric one." You could have had the end of the STI. They could have made a special edition 22B one that was blue with gold wheels. It could have been, they could have made a stripped down, more race version one. They could have made a rally version. They could have had a billion different ideas for a billion different versions of the STI because it was ending, and they knew it was ending. If they made a 22B version, like the S209 version of the STI with the FA24. They could have done forged internal. They could have done all these wild things. They could have charged $100,000 for this thing, and it would have sold out because people love Subarus. They missed out on so much money. I feel like they missed out on just so much opportunity to sell a bunch more vehicles and get a bunch more Subarus out there. Subaru's not the biggest. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like they just missed out. I also feel like me and Steel Rain would be very good friends. I don't know why. I just have that feeling.
Unknown Housecast has just wanted to chime in and say appreciate your channels, your videos, and the channel. Well, we appreciate
Thank you.
you. Thank you for chiming in.
Well, I had a question for you, Kevin,
Uh-oh.
because behind the scenes,
Yeah.
your plan was to get this new STI as soon as it came out. And now it's not coming.
My payments on my WRX are gonna be done in like 2 months, I think. So
Yeah.
yes,
So
I was once they announced it, as long
that
as
was
it
gonna.
was I was gonna buy it.
So, do you get the WRX now?
No, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's
Yeah.
I mean, I have a WRX, right? And
Yeah.
eventually I'm going to throw an STI transmission in there to make it truly like a FA STI, right? Because I have the Brembos, I have the full suspension. That's basically it's on ethanol. I mean, I'm making 400 to the wheels, right? The only thing that can make that car faster right now is basically driver mod, right? I'm not doing serious stuff. So maybe in the future, an IAG block I can drop in there, just casually make 600 horsepower to the wheels. But that car is pretty much set. You know, that is an amazing car. The 2022 WRX would get blown out of the water by that car. Um, the FA24 does have more potential, but like, is that worth it if you're driving around that monstrosity, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Exactly.
I actually started thinking about doing maybe one off-road build also that could have the potential to be able to tow if I ever wanted to convert that to
Full track.
full race car. So maybe um, I would get like with one of the wilderness editions. That would be really cool. Um, Maybe a pickup truck, something like that. Maybe if
Hey
a
yo.
Toyota 4Runner would be really cool, but
Ooh.
um, yeah, this kind of throws a wrench in my plans.
So one thing Jay just said is I think Toyota will make a comeback. That's the thing. Subaru was winning in the aftermarket, the um sports car sales. They were winning, and now you have the Supra, which is now getting a manual. That's not fully confirmed, but it's basically confirmed. So the Supra is going to now sell way, way, way more. I know that a lot of people were like, "I really like the Supra, but it's not a manual, so I don't
Yeah,
want to do it." So now that it's coming out with a manual, that thing's going to start selling like crazy.
yeah.
You have the GR Yaris. That thing looks amazing. That's going to sell like crazy, and because it's a hatchback. The GT86, just like the BRZ, to me, I mean, obviously, you know me, and everyone knows that I'm a Subaru guy. If I was to buy the new BRZ, I'd actually buy the Toyota version. I like the Toyota version better. I think the front of it looks slightly better, and Toyota makes a very, very, very close to the hyper blue color, which anyone that likes the BRZ, everyone likes the hyper blue color the best. And Toyota basically has that color stock. So, like, yeah, Toyota's for sure. If you want a Japanese sports car, I would say a year ago, most people would say, yeah, go look at Subaru. Now, oh my God, it's absolutely Toyota. And then you have Nissan with the 400Z coming back out. Acura, yep, Joe just said, yeah, Acura with the Integra is coming. Although I think the pictures are pretty bad. I think like the
400Z too,
concept,
yeah.
yeah. So it's like Subaru just Epstein's themselves. That should be the title of this video. That's fantastic. Steel Raid needs to like DM me. I think we need to go get dinner. I like this guy.
So the other thing you guys have to remember is that the WRX and STI sales of all Subarus. I mean,
Yeah, the GR
I don't
Corolla.
know the exact data, but I'd have to assume it's less than 15%. So from a
Yeah,
business perspective, it's I kind of get where they're coming from, but at the same time, yes. Who said it?
yeah. The STI
Who said
sales aren't
it?
that good, and
Joey. Yeah, dude. Yeah, they absolutely Subaru absolutely failed their community. They absolutely did. They
yeah. Oh,
they have
definitely.
such an amazing, rich history
And they
in
failed it twice in
the
a row. I
sports
mean,
industry
they bombed
essentially.
it with
But
the WRX.
yeah,
You know, they already failed with the WRX, and then they came back out and said, and they won news. Everyone was like, "All right, the WRX sucks, but the STI will be okay." That
do you
was like
think
what everyone said,
do you
and now
think
they were
the
like, "Oh,
STI
just kidding."
do you think if they do produce a new STI that is performance oriented, do you think it has the potential to be on a platform similar to like the BMW i8, where it's like a performance hybrid?
I I don't know if they go the hybrid mode. They didn't say hybrid. They specifically said EV. So I'm thinking that I'm thinking that they're just going straight electric. Um, the other thing that it's just it to me the only thing that makes sense, I don't know, is that the SDI that they had, because they already said it was coming. They already were making it. They said it was going to be basically a year difference.
Yeah,
So the SDI should have come out this fall. If the SDI should have come out this fall, the car's basically done. You know, like it should be done. They should be testing it, and they should be very close to a reveal. So for them to scrap it means that it either looked exactly like the WRX, and they were like, well, they hate that thing, so they're gonna fucking hate this thing too. So I feel like they had to have canceled a car that was almost made. Like I'm willing to bet in a year from now or a couple years from now, we're gonna all of a sudden see like, oh, this is what the STI was that we canceled on you guys and we didn't show you. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we know that that vehicle's out there. You know, the STI is, you know, the STI that they canceled is around.
yeah.
Someone's got it. You know what I mean? Like it's been test drove, it's been tested at least.
So this on the screen here, this is the Polestar. This is Volvo's like new performance division. This is a 600 horsepower hybrid. It has 738 foot-pounds of torque. This is an insane car. I mean, obviously the price point is it's 155K. It's like almost
Yeah.
supercar range, but that that is something similar that Subaru has the option of doing. The BMW i8, a lot of people say it's kind of slow, but
Yeah, I agree
it
with Jay here that people
is
want cheaper cars. I mean, that's why if you go to your
yeah,
local car show, it's Honda Civics and Subarus. I mean, that's why. You know, your local car show doesn't have, you know, much nice cars. I mean, even BMWs, they're older BMWs. You don't have that many people with, you know, the new M3s and M4s. It's mostly the older stuff because like, you know, they want cheap cars. Like you're right, the Ford Maverick, that thing is going to do insane for sales. For around the city, people that just need to go to Home Depot once in a while, but they want to drive a truck and they just need to get something. That's gonna. Jay is definitely right on that. Yeah, I
Toyota
mean, I think
Supra's
I,
looking
I
real
know.
good right now.
Me and Joe were just talking. We were like, "Hey, you want to both get manual Supras, or what's going on here?"
That
Um,
Jackie Ding is a former pro racer. If you guys have not seen his content, go check him out on YouTube. I don't know if he did F1 or F2. Maybe it was IndyCar, or maybe one of the like manufacturer cups or something like that. But um, former pro racer that he does the full grid life now, and he has a full track built Supra, and that thing is insane with just bolt-ons. Still stock block, big turbo. Um, it has a giant splitter on the front, and that Supra is not a dual clutch transmission, but it is one of the best, fastest shifting. paddle shifter automatic cars that I've ever seen, and he's winning really consistently. So even if you don't get the manual version of the Supra, that is still an amazing option. And we saw so much, you know, lash, people not liking it when it first came out because it has the BMW, what is it, the B58,
Yeah, I think
something like
so.
that. Um,
You know, um, yeah, Elantra N
Elantra
is looking a
and
great
dude, the
buy right now. Yep,
Veloster N is a real,
yep.
kind of cool.
You're definitely right. Definitely
You
right.
know what? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
might I
don't
might just
doubt
say
the.
fuck it and just buy an R8 at this point. Why
That's a good
not? Or
idea.
or an R35
Hey,
GTR.
if you do, you gotta move back to Connecticut though, because I want to drive it. So
I
sorry.
mean, an R35, that's a solid grocery getter right there.
Yeah,
I mean, you can find those for like 40K right now, like 50,000 miles, 60,000 miles. Um, the ZF gearboxes, is that the one that's in the Supra? Yeah. Um, and then compare that to Subaru, we get the advanced. What was it, Kyle? The
Oh,
precision on a CVT transmission or something like that.
yeah,
Oh
I
my
can't.
goodness, very
So depressed.
disappointing.
So
Um,
depressing.
let's. What do you think is going to happen with? A lot of people started talking about this earlier. What do you guys think? What do you think is going to happen with the current gen of STI? Do you think the last 4 or 5 years of the STI is going to be the new Evo
Like price wise, like it's gonna go crazy in price.
in value? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think anyone that was thinking about it, ooh, should I get an SDI? Go tomorrow and go put a deposit down on one,
Yeah.
and then wait a month, and then sell it, and then go buy whatever you want it to. Like, you know what I mean? This is like knowing that Bitcoin's gonna hit 60K, and you knowing that's gonna happen, and it being 20K right now. Like it's gonna happen. Like these STIs are going to go crazy,
Buy one, put it
especially
in a
stock
storage
ones.
unit for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yep,
That's your 401k
exactly.
right there.
Yeah, go to a Subaru dealership and be like, "Do you have an STI in the lot?" And just go put it. Yep, that's your retirement plan. Get a blue one with gold wheels on it.
Subaru bros are going to start wearing monocles when they see how much their cars will appreciate.
Exactly, 100%, 100%. Yeah,
uh,
it's kind of crazy, you know. Well,
one thing that I think is kind of undeniable, the 2022 WRX with the FA24, that is the same FA24 that's in the Ascent, maybe? I can't
yeah,
remember. But um, the tuning capability on that engine is absolutely massive. We're gonna have to wait for bolt-on kits to come out. Um, a lot of those are gonna be from overseas probably to avoid any legal issues. But I mean, they dropped one in a Crosstrek and it was like 500 horsepower. It was simple bolt-ons. They didn't take it was a stock block FA24, right? So
yeah,
that is something that it will be in the future, but again, it takes time to develop. That won't be for the average consumer. That won't be achievable for another probably 2 years, if that, maybe
yeah.
more. But
Well, I think that's it. It's
yeah,
sad, but
sorry, our channel's over. We're not making any more
yeah,
content. We're just good and creeping. No, no, I'm kidding.
I
We got
fucking
plenty of we got plenty of stuff coming, guys.
I
Um,
love Steel Rain. I don't know. I love that guy.
yeah,
Thinking of trading my 2019 WRX to an SDI. Yeah, if you want to keep it for a couple years, sell it, and make some money, or you've always wanted an STI, definitely. But if you want to like still daily drive it and own it for a while, then just keep the WRX. If you're looking to make money, go for the STI. Or if you've always wanted one.
There's going to be tons of STIs available on the market for a very long time.
Yeah, yeah. Premium is almost
They still
five
have
$5 per
2021. They
gallon.
still have 2021 brand new STIs sitting in dealerships all over the country. So,
Yeah.
um, as for as for the pricing on those, yeah, you'll see a little bit of a price increase. But
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna text Steve, our guy at the Subaru dealership, and be like, hey, how many STIs you got? And let me know. I just want to know for research purposes how quick they sell. I'm actually going there next week, so I'll talk to him next week and see what they got. Yeah.
I,
Well,
yeah, the dream for me for a project car is buying like a GC8 chassis or maybe a Hawkeye,
hmm.
um, and doing the full Subaru experience. Throwing a
Yeah.
basically, yeah, building a track car out of that.
I'm having a tough time deciding on my project car for the channel. There's two, and I can't decide. Should we tell them? When I rev my Subaru, I smell freedom. Yep, love it.
I mean, mine smells like ethanol, so it smells like
I
America.
think they sold the last brand new one in
There's
the
no way.
US already. I don't
No
know if they
way.
let me check right now. Let's just see if my local Subaru dealership has any. Let me see if they have any STIs. New vehicles in stock.
Cars.com.
Do a new BRZ GT86. Listen, if my fiance would let me, absolutely. But we just bought a house and we're getting married soon, and she doesn't
Mother's
want a small wedding, so that is my STI. So there's you know what? There is no STIs at any of my local ones.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well,
2021
well,
WRX STI base 35K for with only 3,500 miles.
a 21, so they don't make the 22? Oh my God, it's not. It's off their website. They don't make a 22. Oh no. Oh, it's over. Trade in the fiance. Listen, I tried a couple times, but there's been no bidders. Um, yeah, if you go on the Subaru website, nothing a great PowerPoint proposal can't fix. I love you, John. Um, yeah, there is no 2022, so the only STIs on lots are leftover 21s. Oh, oh boy. Local inventory. Uh-oh.
Oh God, what is this thing? Uh,
I know, I hate that looking thing. Wow. Well, you better find a new STI quick, because they're going to be
I've been
gone.
thinking about it, to be honest, man. I've actually been thinking about it.
I think you do it.
Oh,
Let me see. Just new cars.
what's the best
All
site to find
models.
used and new STI to buy?
Um.
Cars.com is not bad. You can check Carfax. You can check. Um,
Oh.
what?
All right. Cars.com. Subaru STIs. All within the U.S. Brand new. Zero matches found. That's it. It's over. Yep. What's the
Yeah.
best fight to sign a used new STI to buy? Facebook Marketplace if you want to do cash, or you can get a personal loan. If not, then like Car Gurus, Cars.com, Auto Trader. You could try Carvana, maybe.
Yeah.
Sometimes their prices are crazy.
You
Um,
can check your local car crusher.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, before we go, should I tell them what my two project car ideas with and let them
Yeah,
vote?
yeah, if you want.
All
Unless,
right.
unless you
Do I
wanna
get?
unless you wanna save it for an announcement, we could do that too. It's up to you.
Do I do an old WRX like a Bug or Blob Eye? And maybe the Hawk, but I feel like a lot of people do the Hawk. Or do I get a NA Miata, 94 to 98, I think, um, and make it like crazy. So Miata would be turboed. Um, yeah, I'd rather do a turbo than a V8 swap. I think would be more fun. And then Subaru would be, everything full mod. I wouldn't do ethanol because there's none up here. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be coming. I've heard that it's coming soon.
So
So
what's funny is that in Connecticut, there's actually a ton of ethanol being supplied to the state. It's used in all of
yeah, it literally
um,
comes into New Haven. It comes into New
the
Haven.
DMV vehicles. So all of the salt
Yeah,
trucks, all of the work vehicles for the state, they're all ethanol based.
yeah. Most of the gas from the Northeast comes in through New Haven, and we don't get the ethanol. But yeah, so it would be basically full bolt-on Subaru, racing seats, 5-part harness, same like go full everything you could do, I'd do to it. And to be honest, same thing with the Miata. It would be, you know, make it crazy and fun, top down, rear wheel drive, something different.
Yeah.
Steel Rain, my brother from another mother, says stick with the Subaru. Jay says Miata. John says Miata.
Man drives a top down Miata
It,
with
in
Xavier. Yeah.
December. Yeah, dude, that honestly, that thing was so much fun with the pop-up headlights. So 90s.
So, guys, what I have on the screen here, this is Factory 5 Racing. They sell kit cars, which basically means that this entire car shows up in individual parts on pallets to your house, and you have to build it yourself. You have to weld the frame, you have to weld the chassis, you have to literally build the car like a Lego kit. And what's awesome about it is the entire drivetrain and the motor that goes into this. It's a oh fuck, I can't remember. What year was it? It's a WRX. But basically, let's see. 04 to '07 WRX or STI. That
Oh,
goes
that's cool.
into making this, and it weighs. So the basically the 818 is basically um, I can't remember what exactly it is, but basically it's like incredibly light. Half of this thing is carbon fiber wheels. If I ever have in the future a shop where I can have a dedicated work area, this is what I would do. I'd have to learn to weld, but
You could learn while you build a car. Just don't get into a car accident. Yeah, I do think for the channel wise, I think more people would tune in for the WRX for sure. Um, but I think that the Miata would be more fun just because it'd be something new. I think it'd be more fun for me. Like I could probably work on a WRX now blindfolded. So I think
yeah,
the
yeah,
Miata
you'd
would be
have to
like you'd have
learn
to
some of the
learn
older
something new.
stuff, but I mean,
Learning something new. But then again, it'd be probably harder to get stuff for it. And there's so many Subarus around here that like you could just type in Subaru parts. There's probably 5 crashed to get parts from. So we'll see.
yeah,
Still
coming up
thinking.
on an hour here. Does anyone have um, any questions for us? We can talk more about the new STI if you're just joining. If you guys have any questions about your cars right now, feel free to drop them in there. We got some time here we can kill. So I think we kind of beat this subject with a stick, or we beat
Yeah,
the horse with
or a
another dead
battery.
horse.
We beat it with a battery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Abdul says someone at my local car meet has one. He has the kit car, the Factory 5818. If he does,
That's
that
pretty
would
cool.
be sick. What's his name? Smoking Tire? I think that's who it was. Did a review of one. They're crazy. That would be such a cool car to have, and it's rear-wheel drive too. It's basically just like a WRX in a BRZ body, but the BRZ body is half the weight.
Yeah.
um, I know there's a delay here before we see the chat in here, but any questions you guys have for us while you have us here? I mean, we'll answer anything.
Yeah. Oh, does anyone have Gran Turismo 7 on the PS4 or PS5? Because I just got it and it's really fun. And I'll play with someone if they want to play.
Yeah, Abdul, shoot us an Instagram message. He says he has that kip car. Shoot us an Instagram message. See if we can connect with them. Ask them some questions. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, if they live near one of us, we'll do a video on it for sure.
Yeah, I've been thinking about GT7 by the way.
Okay. Okay.
It's a pretty cool racing sim. The issue is if I buy it, I know I'm gonna build a full sim.
Yeah. I mean, I've raced. I don't know. I have $50,000. I probably raced 5, 6 races. My fiance's like, "Oh, how's your new racing game?" I was like, "Good. We need to buy a steering wheel."
Yeah.
If you had
Warhammer
a
asks.
Stage 2 tuned WRX, would you take it? Would you take off all the aftermarket parts, retune the ECU stock, and sell it and trade into an STI and use the parts from WRX? I definitely would. I definitely would turn it back to stock. I think you'll get more money for it stock, and then any parts that you can't put on your STI, you can sell them and make some money back.
There's a huge
Um,
demand for aftermarket parts locally. You'll be able to sell them
yeah.
on Facebook
And
Marketplace.
Jay says, "You
Not
guys
that
playing
we
Elder Ring?"
not that we condone that, but yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely can.
Do I play
Um,
Elden Ring? No. I watch streamers play Elden Ring because if I played Elden Ring, I've would have gone through 50 controllers by now. That game frustrates me when I'm not playing it. I couldn't do that.
I've been
But
playing. If any of you guys recognize this, I've been playing Tarkov recently, and it is infuriating. I just like get one tapped in the head from nowhere.
yeah,
There's
I've
a
been
huge
playing
learning
a
curve.
lot of Apex Legends. I used to play Warzone before the map. They changed the map and now the map sucks. But a lot of Apex and now some Gran Turismo 7, some Madden, some FIFA, all
Oh,
that.
there was a second part to Warhammer's question. So you had a head of Stage 2 WRX, blah, 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 aftermarket. You could sell them, yeah. There are very specific differences in terms of what performance parts you can take from a WRX and put it on STI. If you're talking
Yeah,
about
like an
engine mods,
exhaust.
99% of them are going to be different. If
Yeah,
it's
but like if you
body
could like an
mods,
exhaust, yeah,
catback exhaust is the same between
yeah,
the two. The J pipe and the downpipe between the two are different. Intake's different. Boost controller's different. Blow off valve is different.
yeah. Basically
TGV
anything
and
engine
EGR,
wise.
not that any of you guys have that wink wink nudge nudge. Those are the TGV is the
Pretty
same.
sure
The
that. Yeah.
EGR I think is different.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. No, the TGV would be different too because it's a different intake manifold. It has to be different.
Yeah.
Um,
Warhammer, if you have any questions, let us know on Instagram.
do you think the
Uh,
next gen available in automatic? If it's EV,
it's definitely automatic.
it's definitely automatic.
There'll be no more. So basically, the STI transmission is done. They're
Yep.
not making any more STI transmission. I didn't even think
The
about that.
only EVs on the market, well, not even on the market. The only EVs that I know of are that are manual or even have multiple gears are the Formula E cars, like the electric Formula
Like,
One. And
yeah,
those, and it's just a gear ratio change for longer distances versus shorter distances. Um, so that's the only thing. Um, there's not going to be a single. I can put my money where my mouth is and say that I don't think there's going to be a single commercial electric vehicle that'll have gearing or anything that you can physically do. Um,
yeah,
maybe
yeah. It'll definitely be automatic. I mean, like
something.
all the Teslas and stuff is just one gear because it's all, you know, there's no there's no need for the gears to help with torque because it's all torque all the time. So
Would you
There's no need.
tune a 21 STI now that it may be worth it to keep more worth it to keep it stock in the long run?
Definitely, definitely keeping it stock. For if it's a 21, absolutely keep it stock
If you
because it's
plan
now the last
on
year.
if you plan on putting a ton of miles on it and you're using it as a daily driver, I would personally I would say do what you want to enjoy the car. That being said, if you do want to preserve it, where you're only taking it out as your fun car, absolutely keep it stock. And if you know you're not going to be putting a ton of mileage on it, and you know there's going to be a high resale value, then absolutely keep it stock. I don't think anyone's going to be mad about you putting aftermarket suspension or wheels and tires or things like that on there, but um, EVs don't need a trans. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warhammer,
There's
yeah,
there's
definitely posted
motors
on
directly bolted
YouTube
to the
comments.
hubs, the wheel axles. So
Yeah, Warhammer, definitely post your mod list to the YouTube comments, and we'll just go through it and just tell you what can or can't go on to your STI. And
if there's
then
yeah
Christian says, I don't know how to drive manual. If you live in Connecticut, hit me up and I'll teach you. It's very easy. It's not that hard.
yeah my car right now it's a bit difficult because I have that stage 3 clutch, but stock WRX it's actually it's
It's mainly a weekend car, like 2,000 miles a year. Keep that thing stock,
keep it
baby.
stock.
Ne- Next year, you could probably trade it in for a Huracan. These things are going to jump in price so much. Get
Stocks
yourself a
baby.
GTR. Yeah, get something nice.
STI coin. It's the new
Yeah,
fungible tokens. Yeah.
yeah.
Um. Oh,
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
That's a little far.
I mean, if you want to
Listen,
drive to Colorado, where I'm at,
Christian, go on your Facebook Marketplace. Find the cheapest manual car that runs.
five hundred
Take it to a
dollar
parking
manual
lot.
car.
Take it to a parking lot. Uh, Instagram video us, and we will teach you how to drive stick. It's so easy. My fiance knows how to do it. My fiance's sister, who's a dumbass, she knows how to do it now.
If it's making a grinding sound, push it harder. It'll go. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not that hard. You could literally watch a couple YouTube videos, get out there, buy the cheapest one you can, and sell it when you're done. Give it a shot. It'll be worth it. The way I think about it, it's a zombie apocalypse. Zombies chasing you. You start opening up cars. They're all locked. Boom, you get in. It's manual. You got to know how to drive to survive, man. You got to know how to drive everything.
so Jay asked how many miles do I have on my WRX? How many of those were tuned? So I think I tuned the car like an off the shelf stage 1 tune. I think it was at 35,000 miles.
I was gonna say 35 to. I was gonna say 30 to 40 because when I met you, yours had 30,
And I'm
and it was
at I'm
shortly
at
after.
72 now. So I put
Wow, you're at
about
72.
yeah. So
Damn.
I've put I think 10k on the car since it's been basically full bolt-on and dyno tuned. And I've put around no more than that, like 15k, maybe 20k bolt-on
Yeah,
tuned.
survival of the fittest.
It's been about 10k since ethanol so far. Um, haven't had a single issue. Well, that's not true. I I blew the engine once and I replaced it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's the same engine. There's been mornings where it struggles to turn over. That's literally the biggest issue I've had, and that's just because I'm running a high percent of ethanol and it's -10 outside. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, no. We
Um,
need winter to be over.
survival of the fittest.
Hmm.
We need a new zombie apocalypse. I mean, let's just make it happen, dude. I'm ready for
Yeah.
this. Anything needs to be replaced beside the clutch. Um, I busted an axle boot, but that's because I lowered my suspension too far. So the column, like the threaded column in your coilovers, I spun it down so far that it hit the axle on hard bumps. So I had to replace that. Normal wear and tear replacements, tires, brake pads. That's it. Um,
It's been
the
pretty reliable
clutch.
though.
Yeah, so the stage 3 clutch is upgraded. I don't want to say it's replaced because it didn't get worn. It wasn't worn out. I replaced it because I was going for a higher horsepower build. Um, for everything else I've done, it wasn't really a replacement where it was something that like, went out or got ruined or something like that. Everything I put on the car has been an upgrade in some way, other than that axle boot I had to replace. I redid my exhaust gasket once because I had a leak. That's it.
Yeah, you've been pretty lucky though. Even my car, I never had an issue.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
sold it at 50,000 miles.
the big thing is oil
Whew.
changes every 3,000 to 3,500 miles. Do a transmission fluid swap every single year, once a year. Unless you're driving like 30,000 miles a year, then do it more than that. But um, and then the other thing is be patient and let the car warm up. Don't get into boost until you hit 185 degrees on your oil gauge. If you do that, that car is going to last almost forever. Doesn't matter if it's an STI or Subaru or a WRX. Those are great rules to follow for any kind of Subaru. Um, Thank you to you guys. Going for Bren Tuning 85 Cobb package, dude. They are the goat. Bren Tuning did such an amazing job with my car. When I moved out here and I added the front mount intercooler, they gave me a free retune to when I added the front mount, and they also adjusted my car's tuning for altitude here because we have even in town, not even up in the mountains, we have 13% less oxygen than at sea level. So
Oh my God.
um,
Are
and,
you
and,
okay?
and yeah,
How do you
yeah, dude.
feel?
I
Do
mean,
you
I
feel
feel
okay?
good. I mean, it took a couple weeks to get used to it, and then when I was trying to go for a run here, dude, I tried to go for a run the first week I was here, and it felt like I was getting like punched in the face by gusts of wind, dude. Um,
Warhammer said the reason SD prices will go up because they stopped making them. It's actually both. They stopped making them in 21. Didn't tell anybody
who?
that that was the end. Warhammer was asking because he came late. So the STI prices are going up because they stopped making them in 21. Didn't tell anyone that that would be the last year of the STI
Yep.
gas. And then now they said they were coming out with them. Now they're actually going to full electronic, electric. So now
We don't
that's
have confirmation. So the only official news that we have says that it's not going to be the new STI is not going to be the same platform as the current WRX.
yeah. So it could be a hybrid,
It
but
could
we
be a
we both are
hybrid.
kind of
It
thinking,
could be full electric, but yeah.
yeah,
So we're
we're
assuming it's
assuming
probably going to
we're
be a
assuming
full
full
electric.
electric.
But I mean, it's possible they go hybrid. But I
Yeah.
mean, if they throw a little 1.8 liter or something like that,
Oh
like
God,
imagine like a fully forged 1.8 liter from their old Impreza going in there.
he's so upset. Yeah, they stopped making it in 21, but then didn't tell anybody.
I mean, back
That's
then,
impressive.
I'm sure they were planning on having the 2022 or
Oh,
2023 STI.
absolutely. I mean, it was supposed to come out this
And
fall.
then the
That was the
WRX
plan.
itself got delayed, and I think they might have just missed the cutoff for some kind of regulation. Um, One thing, Kyle, that you were talking about earlier with I think it was Toyota. If you look at their like cafe score, right? They're able to make that super because of their how many Priuses they have.
Yeah,
Subaru doesn't. Subaru has what? They have the Solterra now, but they have what?
but
One other hybrid on their entire lineup. So they have a hybrid Crosstrek, and that's it, right?
yeah. So yeah, maybe it was that their STI they did their testing and they were like, shit, we're not going to hit these numbers
And
if we
maybe if
make
they
this.
had released the patent for it last year, if the WRX hadn't got delayed, I'm sure. I wonder if they,
Yeah.
you know,
Hopefully we get more information. I'd really like for us to get more information. Maybe, I
we'll
mean,
probably
obviously
hear
it's like,
more press releases and things like that in the
yeah,
next
maybe
couple
we get a
months.
press release that says, you know, we couldn't make it because of this or because of the chip shortages or blah 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 blah. We couldn't finish it. I don't know, but well,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining.
Yeah,
Give you
thank you,
guys a
thank you.
sneak peek. Tomorrow morning, I'm actually met a guy here in Colorado who's been doing the SCCA time attack circuit, um, and he's kind of like been mentoring me a little bit. I've been asking him a bunch of questions because I'm going to start tracking my car April 29th. I'm going to their performance driving school. Um, for the year, and I'm getting my competition license for the next couple of years through that. And then I'm doing a track day the day after. So, anyways, so I'm actually meeting up with the guy tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing a full overview video of his track dedicated build STI. He's making about the same power as me, maybe a little bit more at altitude. So like on paper our numbers are the same, but my car's making a little bit less because the Dynatune numbers are normalized to sea level. So, but yeah, I'm gonna be giving you guys a full blown, in-depth video on what he did. He actually installed an auto blip, which is really sick. So when he downshifts, he doesn't have to hit the gas at all. It's all electronic. So I'm gonna be talking to you guys about that in that video. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you haven't on this stream, and stay tuned for that video coming out tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night. So
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being depressed with us in our therapy session.
I'd
We'll
play
meet back here in a couple
the
weeks.
"In the Arms of the Angel" song that we probably would get.
Yeah.
Do you
I was
mind
thinking
if I
about
do?
that actually. I was going to text you and be like, yeah, we're going to get copyrighted, but you should probably play that in the beginning.
I should put a
But
gravestone on this.
yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching, all your questions and all your chats. That was a lot of chats actually when you look back.
Yeah, it's
It
a
was good
hot
interaction.
topic. So
Thank you guys. Peace.